today. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about Cesar Chavez. He was a migrant activist. Uh, he wanted to change the way people worked in these fields, grape fields, stuff like that, make their lives more fulfilling. Cesar Chavez was born in Yuma, Arizona, to immigrant parents, and they moved up and down California looking for work in 1939. For 10 years, he and his family moved around California. This was just primarily looking for work, trying to find the best work conditions, or just to survive. During this time that he worked in the fields, he witnessed and lived through wretched migrant camps, corrupt labor contractors, meager wages for backbreaking work, and bitter criticism. A lot of people don't understand the fact that in these fields, these people were not treated as humans. They were paid really, really low wages. They could be out there working for hours at a time and only get paid maybe $1 to $3 at max, if lucky. So these working conditions weren't very good. Not to mention the farmers took very little care in what they did, as far as the pesticides and just the people being out there. They were very careless. In 1952, this is when Chavez really got involved in the activist movements. He met Father Donald McDonald, an activist who was a Catholic priest, and Fred Ross, an organizer for the community service organization. They asked him to join their group and their cause. He did so, which led him to become what he was known for. In 1962, he resigned in order to form his own union for a more personal cause. This cause was pretty much what he went through and what he wanted to fix out of what his life had given him. In order for Chavez to form a good activist group, he looked towards the civil rights movement, and he wanted to keep things peaceful. In 1966, the March on Sacramento brought the grape field boycott to the public eye. A lot of people didn't realize what was going on in these fields, and by doing this, it showed not only the farmers that own these fields, but it also showed the migrants working in these fields, hey, there is help, there's someone there for you. There's a way to make things better. In 1968, Chavez went on a fast for 25 days to protest the increasing advocacy of violence within the union. These unions, once things don't go the correct way or the way that they exactly planned it out to be, things start to turn, tables turn, they start to act out. They want change now, not in the long run. On July 29, 1970, 26 Delano farm growers signed documents that would recognize the UFW. This pretty much just put the two together, and they recognized each other for what they were doing, and they realized that something needed to be changed. In 1970, Team Masters Union would sign sweetheart contracts that would challenge the UFW and lead to a bloody 4-year struggle. Pretty much the two were facing opposite sides. This led to a lot of arguments and stuff that didn't need to happen. It was very unpeaceful. Chavez has supported the passage of the California's Agricultural Labor Relations Act. This would just, it would fix their misery, exploitation, and ensure justice for the laborers to make sure that everything was running smoothly and people were being treated as people, not inhuman, pretty much. This act was short-lived, and after aggressive governors undercut the effectiveness of the act, things pretty much went back to square one, and they were fighting all over again for their cause. In 1984, in response to the grape industry refusal to control the pesticides in its crops, Chavez inaugurated an international boycott table of grapes. This really hurt the farmers. Farmers lose money when their product isn't being taken care of, and by doing this, they lost a lot of money. During Chavez's life, he fathered 8 children, and he lived to be 66. Chavez passed away in his sleep on April 23rd, 1993, in San Luis, Arizona. This was only a short distance from where he was born in Yuma, Arizona. For 35 years, Chavez fought the problems that migrant field workers lived through. In his fight, he made field workers' lives better in many states, including Texas, Arizona, and Florida. By him speaking out and doing what he did to help these people, he made conditions better in not just California, but he made them better in other states as well. These are my citations. If you have any questions, if you need any more, you want to look into it a little bit more, that is exactly where I got my information from. Do you all have any questions?
What does UFW stand for?
UFW was the Union Farm Workers Union. Oh. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. United Farm Workers. Sorry, guys.
Have you ever worked in farms or on fields?
I personally have not.
Do you know anyone who has?
Yes, ma'am. My grandparents actually worked in fields, and it was around the same time period that he was making all these movements, and a lot of what he stood up for was there. They often told us how